Welcome to another episode of Inside the Mind of a Blerd. I am Scuba Steve, and today we got a big gang here. We got Bo. Done did it. Go ahead, plug yourself.
Wolfie.
Hello, it is I, Bo. Bo done did it. They call me many names. Hentai Bo. I don't know why, but apparently I watch hentai. What else? Both of me, because apparently I got the glasses, as you can see, the
Mhm.
glasses. But yeah, I'm just here to talk and have fun and try not to be chaotic or villain today.
Oh no,
You
we're
know.
gonna be chaotic. Keep them normal.
Bo, you exist. You exist. That's enough.
Oh, I exist. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just be existing. Yeah, that's the whole time. Like, I just be existing.
hmm
Yeah.
Say Lakeisha on camera for the first time,
Well, the third time actually.
third time.
Yeah, I keep
Okay.
count.
Yeah,
Oh, she
this
was
is
she was on that
third.
Christmas.
Hmm.
So, hi, this is Sailor Keisha, also known as Sailor Kiki. My motto is you can get mad. I don't care. I will meet you anywhere. Because in the name of the moon, I will punish you.
Yeah.
Fair
Okay,
enough.
okay.
Fair
I
enough.
like that.
Yeah. Returning after a small hiatus, kid. How you doing, bro? You on mute, bro.
You are mute, bro.
Lord Jesus, man, already starting off tragic. All right. Let me get my act together, man. Okay, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Live from the 7-5. This your boy Ked the Pro from the Chaotic Culture Podcast and Show Go High, and of course inside the mind of a blerd. Go by many nicknames here. Chaotic Ked, Ked the Poet, Ked the Closer, Kickstand Ked, and a whole other bunch of names that I'm
Legatron.
not going to name here
Legatron.
this time.
Megatron.
This
Legatron.
yeah, all of that good shit. Um, you already know 843 is me, but VA is where I stay. I'm always chaotic, just never toxic most times. But y'all already know I'm here for the episode. I'm here to have a good time and just here to have fun with the fellas and Sailor Keisha.
Mm-hmm. Double O. Give it to us.
What's going on, everybody? It's Double O Status, aka your favorite and my sixth agent, aka Danny Phantom. When the cops come through, I'm going ghost. Good luck finding me, aka the Dominican Panther, Bachata. And of course, if you see me in public, approach me with caution because if you startle me, you're gonna see me reach into this backpack. All right, we none of us want that. And of course, we're talking a little too loud, so I gotta take it down to Jazz FM levels. Because down the Angola Zaire border, they like to call me Nyoka Yampembe. What does that mean? The White Mamba. Mamas don't rattle.
All right. And today we have a very special guest. We have the one and only Gary Gray. Gary, go ahead.
I feel left out. I didn't have a thing prepared. Y'all didn't send the email with the whole setup. This is Gary L. Gray, aka Leroy the King. Not Leroy, the Last Dragon. Gary Gray, not the director of Fast and Furious.
Okay.
I don't know. Y'all put me on the spot, man.
Hey, I like that. Impromptu. I like that.
Yeah,
Right.
better than Steve.
Oh wow, that's cool. And yeah, so we've been interacting with Gary a little bit on the timeline and stuff like that, and like he been you know shouting us out, retweeting and stuff like that, and I was all like, man, I'm gonna shoot my shot. I was like, we're gonna see what happens, and he was all like, shit, all net, and he was like, bet. So we happy to have him on. So I sent the docket to everybody, but to break the ice, Keisha wanted to test you a little bit on something, just to break the
Oh,
ice.
I don't want to go first yet. I want to
You
calm
want
him
to go
down
first?
first.
Oh, okay. So, all right, then we'll start it off simple then. So the first thing that we was gonna talk about was like early childhood and being present in Black TV. Um, we all know, what I'm saying, you're very present in our lives and our childhoods and things like that. So we know you played Nelson on Cosby, played Little G on Family Matters. You played young Carlton on The Fresh Prince, and you played Kevon on Living Single. How was that experience being in that circuit of just like black sitcom, black sitcom, black sitcom, and they all just historic?
Yeah, it's crazy. I think it was the 2020 or 2021 when I actually realized I did all of those before I turned 7. And it was just weird to even think about that, just to say like, oh, I've been on the major black sitcoms, before, I hit high school. So just that experience alone, just being able to touch all of that greatness simultaneously, often at times, was just really cool. I think they all offered their own experiences too. So that was also something that I was thankful to see. There's a lot of people who say I did that show or I did that show, but I kind of ran through the gamut and I was just like, yep, collecting my coins there. But when it comes down to that, I just always am thankful that, those historic black shows that I was a part of were featured in it anyway. There was a lot of them that I only had, one episode, and then there was, stuff like Cosby Show where I was on for seasons, and each of them, had their own merits. So very, very thankful. It was really cool. I think it's even cooler now, to see and look back. I think that now that era of TV is really appreciated and being called back upon. So I think it's really cool now. Then, it was just like, I'm working, so I'm thankful. But now it looks a bit different in hindsight. So yeah.
Right, and knowing that you did all that before you turned 7 is crazy. I didn't know all that was before you turned 7. So that,
Yeah.
Man,
that's
just
a crazy.
to think about that is just as an achievement was something that I like I said, it hit me in I think 2020, and when I tweeted about it, I was just like, man, it's just crazy. Think about things that you did before you were 7 years old. That's probably not one of the things that I would have thought about. So very thankful.
Yeah. Double O was just saying he was all like he was looking at it and he was all like, no, he wasn't Richie. And then I remembered you tweeting, you was all like, we are not the same person.
Yeah, I think at least every couple of months it comes up, of who I'm not. So I always just, I always do it in fun and great fun. I know a lot of people kind of know who's who, especially now, but I think that especially Twitter, always has fun poking at it every now and then, has fun poking fun at it every now and then. So I do too. I join in on the fun. Why not?
So I wanted to say, so from those, granted, you did these before you were 7,
Yeah.
right? But is there anyone that you remember like fondly working with from that time?
Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, all of those experiences I remember vividly. I always joke around and say that if you ask me what happened after that, 10 and like in between 10 and 16 is like a blur. But those years I remember very vividly, I think just because of what those experiences were, and what they actually meant to me. People, I mean, everybody was just somebody that I just recently ran into Darius McCrary from Family Matters. So that was really cool just to see him again and talk shop. So, he's someone that is always is so great to see, out and about. Malcolm Jamal Warner, same thing. Raven, seeing her, is always great. So sorry, Raven Simone. I have to specify which Raven because I know 2 Ravens in the business. So, and I know my other sister, Raven Kelly, would kill me if I didn't specify. So sorry, Raven Kelly. But yes, I mean Raven Simone. But yeah.
Okay. So out of those 4 sitcoms, what was your favorite to do?
Oh man, you gonna put me on the spot like that? Cosby, it afforded me the experiences that were necessary for me to have at that age to be successful and to keep going. So I always make sure that that's something that I can, sort of take with me. It travels with me in every job that I do, all those lessons that I learned in those 2 years that I was on the show. So I would say that, but I mean, I had so much fun on Family Matters and Living Single, especially Living Single was just a great spot to be in with for women being the head of that show at that time was just insane to think about now, especially how far forward it was at the time. But yeah, like I said, that's really hard to pick. I would say, man, probably Living Single, only because I think from that I have the longest standing friends and people and confidants that I still am in contact with. So I still talk to TC a lot and work with TC. I still talk to John, as much as I can. So it's been really great.
That's what's up, man.
What's up?
TC Carson also voice actor for God of War.
Yes.
Things of that nature. Like, yeah. So
Voice
TC,
actor extraordinaire.
yeah, for sure. Keisha, you said you wanted to do your quiz. You ready to get them now?
Oh man.
Yeah, so I'm an actor, you're an actor, and we have to always remember our lines on time. I have 3 quotes that your characters have said, but you gotta guess which character it is. Can you do it?
Yeah, let's go. I think I can.
Okay. Yo, Pop-Tart, you got any black in you?
That's definitely Tyson from Bring It On, All or Nothing.
Got 1 out of 3. Okay. It's a crime. You can't rhyme.
Ooh, that's a little tougher. Man, that sounds like Nelson though, from Even Stevens.
No.
It's
Sam from Rocket Power.
Ooh, wow. Man, okay.
It's a disgrace in your face.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna get 2 out of 3 though. Let me see.
Okay, let's see. Okay. See, what you need to do is focus on those feelings on something or someone that can attain.
Now that one is actually Nelson on Even Stevens, I feel like.
Yes, 2 out of 3.
I remember that
2
line.
out of 3.
All right, I didn't do myself a mistake.
Hey, that sounds hard as fuck.
That middle line, the second one was like, I was on the fence. I was gonna say Sam, but then I was like, that just seems so random. But I mean, I forgot how random that show was at times. So yeah, makes sense.
Well, you did a good job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That was some good picking, like definitely. That was like the right amount of challenge, but like I could get it. Like I liked it. Good job.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You're the first time I ever done this, so I feel great. Thank you.
I feel good.
Oh.
Doggy said no.
Who let the dogs out?
Kid, did you want to ask them?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to ask a little bit of a random question here. It's not out of pocket, but just in terms of your of all of the roles that you've done, like in the past, like what do you think was probably maybe your most challenging?
Man, those would probably be recent roles of ones that I can speak on.
Of course.
I have definitely had sort of a, retrospect on 2 roles that I've done. One being Blackbird, which was a independent film that I did with Monique and Isaiah Washington. And that one was very challenging just because of the subject matter and the area that we were in. We filmed the majority of it in Jackson, Mississippi. And at the time, it was just, it was really, really like bad down there. We were not welcome. We'll just say that. And it was just really one of those times where I had to deal with subject matter and sort of outside forces feeling like, I couldn't sort of perform in the way that I wanted to. So that one was really challenging. And the second role being recently I did a show for Amazon and Vim Media named Trace. and that one was really challenging. Playing it was actually based off of a true story. The Doodler was the name of the serial killer, and I played a detective turned serial killer. And that one was challenging just because that was something that I had never ventured into before. So I did a lot of research for the role, really searching the cases and sort of diving into that and watching the best serial killer movies in my repertoire, so that was really challenging just because of all the content that I was ingesting at the time. It was just like, it was a lot, and it was just one of those things, doing daily tasks plus that, it was just like, whew, I needed a break. So yeah.
Now, if you said some of your favorite serial killer movies, what's top 5 or top 3?
Ooh, oh man, on the spot again. Seven, obviously.
Yes.
In the fire.
Okay. All right.
7 is there. Fallen with Denzel
Denzel
Washington.
Washington and John
Mm.
Travolta.
That's a good one.
That's a one.
I did. Oh man, what was it? Kiss the Girls. That's, I think, Ashley Judd and Morgan Freeman. And Bone Collector and Taking Lives with Angelina Jolie, both of those, but in separate movies. She did a lot of those. I found out like which actors were like really comfortable doing that lane, like in that research. I was like, I see the same people. It's like literally all y'all making the same movie, but yeah, those are definitely probably in my revolving door top 5 for sure. I'm definitely missing some because I went really left field, and I actually even attempted to watch a foreign film that was based off of a serial. Oh man, it's called like Apartment 1313 or something like that. It's a Japanese flick, and it's about 2 actresses that like are going for the same part, and they find out that they're going for the same part, so they try to kill each other. And so just like, yeah, just dealing with, I wanted to sort of find someone who could like be one way in, one part of the day, and then completely a different person, at night or, during another circumstance. So that movie was really good. It jarred me for a minute. So yeah, I went through a lot.
Fair enough. Keisha, you raised your hand. Was you about to say something?
I said, if you're looking for somebody, I can do it.
Yeah. I'm about to say, definitely get Keisha on.
I'm about to update my resume now. What you mean?
Shit, I'm doing it right now.
I'm about to say, Bo, you got a question you want to get in there before we go to the second?
Sure. I could put in a random question. I see that you're an anime person. So what would be your favorite anime that you watched?
Ooh, that's another tough one. I'd say right now it's probably Demon Slayer. Just off of I don't know, just story got me, characters got me. I mean, even though Tanjiro can sometimes be so very annoying, just
Yes.
But I think that just the run that they've had has been really good. I mean, some others that I've watched, I know this is controversial, but I really love Castlevania. I know it's kind of a newer one.
Oh, that's fine.
But I really like Castlevania. Man, classic wise, oh gosh. Original Cowboy Bebop, not the movie thing that they tried to pass off as that.
Live action.
Right.
Live action.
We don't talk about the live action.
Right.
We'll talk about it. It doesn't exist.
Man, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, those are probably like, if you wanted to get to know me, in that case. But yeah.
I got another question.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, you talked about, you've been doing a lot of roles since you were so many roles before the age of 7. And you said that you still keep in contact with some of your castmates. Do they still treat you like that little boy that they first saw?
Definitely, some of them do. Definitely. I think TC has finally gotten used to seeing me as an adult, so he doesn't anymore. John Hinton, who played Overton in Living Single, he hasn't seen me physically since the shoot, but we've always stayed in contact. So he still calls me nephew. Like he literally has never called me by my name since I left the set. He just calls me nephew. So I think that there's definitely that discrepancy between people who have seen me recently and it's like, oh wow, you're a man. Like Darius didn't even recognize me. Like I passed him, I was like, Darius. He was like, the show. He was like, no. And the hilarious thing is, he literally called me Lil G. And like, and the funny thing is, I think for Family Matters and Living Single, I was Little G in both of those things, not Living Single, I was Kavan, but for Family Matters, I was Little G, and I was originally named something else, but the producers saw that my nickname was Little G, and they were just like, oh, just use that. So it's hilarious to me that like he calls me my actual like younger nickname, even though it's a sort of character name. Yeah. So he may have been talking about my character name, but it just always feels nice because it's like, he calls me by my family nickname, so it's cool. But
because you still look the same. I remember when I saw you on Bring It All or Nothing, and I hear you say these lines, and I was like, but you're older than me by a few years. And I was just like, but that's still the little boy from the Cosby Show. But that's a good thing that you can change it up a bit. So.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are seeing me with like some girl. Like for a job that I'm doing now, I have to be clean shaven. And when I tell you I look 16 again when the hair goes off, it's tragic. It really is. Like I got caught together. I was trying to buy a lotto scratcher, and the dude was like, "Can I see some ID?" And I was like, "Bro, come on, man.
Like it's me.
Claim the prize if I'm not 18. Like, what am I giving you this dollar for?"
I feel like it's me. You don't recognize me.
I was gonna say, so to keep things just a little chaotic, what are some hot takes that you might have? Whether it's again about the show business, whether it's like a favorite show or animation. Like, what are some hot takes that Gary got?
I am definitely like big hot take when it comes to like shows and like TV and film. And I don't know what's probably my worst. I don't think Breaking Bad was a good show until season 4. That's probably
that's a hot take for real.
That's real hot take.
Scorching.
I thought you were gonna say episode 4.
Yeah, I think it Breaking Bad arrived at the right time, and I think going back and watching it, I think nostalgia hits you, but when you really sort of look at the elements, we chastise other shows for doing what Breaking Bad did on a daily basis sometimes. So it's like, what? Like people would be like, oh, this show is boring, but I'm like, but Breaking Bad. And they'd be like, oh, but this show is predictable, but I'm like, Breaking Bad. So, it's just one of those things that I've always stood by, but I think it definitely came into its own. And I think that obviously performances did quite a bit for it. To me, that's the biggest thing. I always say it was very performance driven. But yeah, I think that other than that, I don't know, man. What is some other good hot takes? I don't know. I think Will Smith is a good rapper. I don't know.
I do as well.
I respect that.
That's seen as a hot take these days. But I think he is. I just think he chooses not to rap in a certain way, and that rubs people the wrong way. I get it. Trust me. Like there's sometimes I don't want to listen to Big Willie style, but yeah, no, I think he's a good rapper. I don't know, man. There's so many. I think we would have to talk about things, and then you would see exactly how many hot takes I have.
It's like I'll bring some hot takes up later.
Right. You're like, man, that's all he got is hot takes. He got nothing else. No lukewarms or nothing. It's just it.
My first CD ever was Willennium, so that's actually crazy.
Wow. I think the first CD I ever bought might have been Millennium. I don't know. It might have been. I think the first CD. I remember the first like rap CD that I ever bought that was like uncensored was Ja Rule Mesmerized. I think.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm dating myself a little bit. But yeah, that
Millennium
was that was that was
2000.
that was definitely.
Mhm.
I
Yep.
think the first one I got like uncensored because most of the time I was buying censored CDs, but the first one I got uncensored was 400 Degrees
I see
Juvenile.
that. Yeah.
Mm.
The
Yeah.
funny thing is, I use the word bought very specifically because I definitely had some other stuff,
Yeah.
that wasn't purchased through actual means that I had on
Non-wire.
somebody's mixtape. Right, exactly.
Bear shares.
So right. So, but yeah, that was definitely my first bought uncensored CD.
All right, so we're gonna get into this next portion. So the next portion is being a part of everybody's childhood, as far as like Rocket Power, Fairly Odd Parents, Clifford, Even Stevens, Slappy and the Stinkers. Like, how? What was the best part of like just kind of like getting into voice acting and just doing fun stuff like Slappy and the Stinkers, Even Stevens? And like, what was some of the drawbacks of it? Because I know, like, with you being like one of the childhood actors, you was busy all the time. You know what I'm saying? So let's hear like the goods and the bads and everything about that.
Man, I think that specific era that you spoke about was really fun for me. Just off top, I think having fun as a child actor, I think is something that probably is not there anymore. Like, to be honest,
Facts.
and a lot of child actors now, because of most of the projects that feature child actors, they're put into a spot or spotlight that they a lot of times is very difficult to handle. Back in my day, child projects were very common, so it wasn't something where it was like Stranger Things, where it was like, wow, look at this cast with 4 children in it. Everybody watch. And it's like, what? Like,
Yeah.
it's like that was
Right.
all the time. There was countless films that had kids as the leads, Three Ninjas, Slappy and the Stinkers, Little Rascals, like all of these, properties, Sandlot, like everything featured kids, so there was no expectation of popularity at that point. Kids were watching kids and loving it. Instead of watching like kids performing. And I think that's the difference now. It was like back then we were doing things that kids wanted to see kids do. Slappy and the Stinkers is about us stealing a sea lion and going on
Yeah.
a sneaker
Adventure.
pitch day, basically. Like, that's basically it. So I think that now with a lot of children being in roles that demand more of them, you're just naturally demanding more, when it comes to the world and when it comes to the industry around them. And that's unfortunate. And I'm thankful to have been brought up in that time, because I think I was just speaking with someone the other day, and they were explaining to me how one of their castmates thought it was weird that they wanted to meet up with them and have lunch and just kick it, and hang out. And they thought it was like really like off-putting, and they were like, no, I'll just see you at rehearsals. I'll see you on set. And and I was just like, man, that's weird. Like back when I was, especially like Slappy and the Stinkers, we had chemistry like meetings. Like we literally they sent us to Six Flags and to restaurants, just together, and paid for it just to have us all have fun together, so that when we made it to, the set, it was natural, and it was something that couldn't be denied. When you watch that film, it looks like we've all been friends. And the funny thing is we stayed friends, because of that. So, I think that is definitely something that I took as a benefit. But I think the downfall, probably the only downfall of sort of coming up in that time, is not having social media. I think that this era of social media and what it does for the actor is sort of exponentially better than any sort of advertisement we could ever have. In my era, you just had to like us. People tuned in and like came home, to watch us, rather than stumbling upon us, on a scroll or getting bombarded with a reel or something of that nature. People were like, I gotta be home at 7:30 because Gary's on Family Matters. That's how it works. So I for me, I am sort of very far removed from the normal like social media push of me as a performer and as an entertainer. I am who I am on there, and that's just kind of what you get. And I've had to sort of undinosaur myself through the years, but I still stand strong on like I've worked every year of my life, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So if I didn't need it before, I don't need it now. So it's just something that I can use to benefit me. So yeah.
So I know like video killed the radio star. Do you feel like animation is killing the child actor? Because like anytime they make a kid movie, it's just like a Pixar movie or a Disney. You know what I'm saying? Like
No,
animation movie.
no, I don't think so. I think what I think killed the child actor, unfortunately, was social media, because the thing is social media allowed us to sort of manufacture what people used to hone back in the day. Like parents used to have to take kids to this lesson, and oh wow, excuse me, we need this girl to know how to ice skate. And it used to be, okay, cool, well, we have to go learn how to ice skate. We have to go to, lessons for 4 weeks before we can bring it on. I was in chair camp for 2 months, before I stepped foot on that set, so that's to me, what's missing is that now you're manufacturing sort of these huge sort of productions, and the pieces are twice as many because you have no cultivation, no nurturing when it comes down to your performance. So that usually is what runs into it to me is you have to have a body double. You have to have the stunt person. You have to, I mean, all of those people should have a job, trust me. But I think that now because of social media, it's gotten to be where we're creating jobs where there doesn't need to be, we're taking away things from, I think, the craft of people actually doing work. And instead we're just deferring, and doing movie magic, so that's kind of my sort of breakaway, I think from this era is probably social media when it comes down to child actors for sure.
So I was gonna say, speaking about the craft, one of the big things that even like George Lucas likes to get into is about how things are done now versus how things were done back then. Is there something very specific that you would bring from back then forward to the present for the actors to kind of put it into their skill set? And also, sub question to that is there anything from modern acting that you think would have benefited you back in the day?
Those are good. Okay, can I have like a side A to your question?
Sure.
Not dealing with acting. Do not get rid of film. I'm a big purveyor in that. I also love digital. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like completely bad. Like what's his name? Who is it? JJ that's doing like the most right now. He's like, rah, don't get rid of film when he always shoots on digital, which is beyond me. Anyway, I think that there is a market for film. I think that is literally what we started on, and it doesn't go away just because we create new technology. I think that we definitely need to see that. And you definitely need to work with it, because I think that working with film prepares you better to work digitally. Like that's literally the blueprint. It's the groundwork for all of that stuff. So taking that now into the sort of acting realm, being a consumer, this is something that I teach a lot when I coach. When I coach my actors, I coach voice acting and I coach on camera acting as well. And I tell all of my students that you have to be a consumer. That is literally the main thing. Do not be an actor that turns your nose up at watching television. I can't stand when I run into actors and they're like, "Oh, I don't watch television. Oh, I don't see anything. Oh, and I haven't stepped into a movie theater in years." Like, that to me says nothing. It tells me you're out of touch. And I think that if we're constantly trying to achieve our art being seen, at the end of the day, yes, you are filming, but you are filming to be seen. You're filming to have this art ingested by somebody, So with that being said, if you are looking at success, you can find all kinds of success. You can find the indie darlings. You can find the big budget blockbuster. You can find the B movie action. You can find the rom com. You can find all of those, the ensemble flicks. All of those have successes and examples that you should be watching and ingesting at all times as much as humanly possible. That is your job. That's literally what you do. You know what I mean? I always go back and say, do you think lawyers who are studying for the bar was like, let me just read these medical books, just for fun, like, no, that's literally all they ingested when they were going to school. That was their life every second of the day. And I think that when you take those breaks and you say, oh, well, I need to take a break from, my industry, it's just kind of odd to me. I think that I can't live without it. I literally can't. When I'm stopping my job, when I get off set, I can't think of, I'm like, what's today? It's a Wednesday, Mandalorian's coming on. Like, I'm like, I'm like, that's kind of where I'm at, where, I want to see everything, because as a actor and creator, I constantly want to be a step ahead of whatever I'm going to face on set or in an audition. Why not? That's my example right there. That's where I'm trying to get. So, yeah.
Big fact.
I think I answered all of it. I think. Oh no. What is the modern thing now that I would have benefited from back then? Oh man, so much. Not we'll pass, social media, because that's been a topic too much. But man, I would have to say that's really good. I know, lav mics. Cause like, man, when I was coming, we didn't have really good like lav mics. Like just it was not what it is today. And so everybody had to be boomed. So like TV sitcoms, like when I tell you, half the shots that were unusable was because the boom was in the shot. Like literally every time we had to cut, we see the boom. Okay, get the boom up. And it was like, oh my gosh. Like if I didn't have those times where something got interrupted because we saw the boom, I probably could have been in record time. They would have been calling me one take Gary, because but yeah, no, it was just one of those things that I think technology was able to really give us that good leeway once it came through.
Big fact. Okay. Kid, did you have a question?
Actually, not at the moment. I think he kind of answered the question in his last answer. So you have to come back to me, because I'll definitely will have some more questions later.
I think.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, you know what? I'm curious now. So, you play games?
Yes, I do.
You play? Okay. So, what's your favorite game of all time?
Not the one that you voice acted either.
He's like, contractually, actually.
If y'all only knew. Man. I know you guys are gonna hate me, because I know I'm like, I don't know. I'm very much a story. I love blending my two worlds. I love when gaming intersects into my cinematic, world, and when I can see really great performances through gaming. I think that is usually what I'm very much drawn to. And so, with that being said, I typically gravitate towards adventure games. Or RPGs, because of that sort of cinematic element that you normally face in those. So I probably would say it's a cross between Dad of War and
Dad of War is crazy.
Not Ragnarok, because I'm not finished. Don't kill me. But yeah, I'm not finished.
I'm not finished either, bro. It's all good.
Okay, cool.
The Valkyries, man.
And probably Last of Us, because
Yes.
Okay.
I just narrative, and I think that when you really look at what was achievable or what we thought was achievable with gaming. I think that when you look at The Last of Us, that's the one thing that really always can be agreed upon that sort of rose above that mark. Whether you think that it's the best game of all time or not, everybody always says, yes, actually, you're right. I never would have thought I could have felt emotions or seen something that cinematically sound through a video game. And I think that that's why it usually hits that number one spot for me, for sure. But yeah, those are usually 1A and 1B.
Okay.
Yep.
Good choices. I respect those choices.
Cool. I don't feel so bad. But I'm an OG gamer too. You know, well, not I don't know how OG because people be like real OG. And I'd be like, all right,
Atari, we know.
Atari.
No, see, the thing is I don't mean OG as in like old, because I'm definitely an old gamer because I had an Atari 2600 so in my house. So
I still got mine.
Nice. And yeah, everything from original NES onward I've owned. So, but I mean OG gamer as like people be liking like, you know, those deep cuts that I just never got to, and
because we were kids.
Man, I wish I was one of those people. But yeah, I really loved sort of PlayStation 1. I played so many things on PS1. And I'm just getting back into my swing of things now with gaming. So I've really sort of played the most that I've played lately, and I hope to be streaming after the summer. So y'all can look out for that with me and my roommate, who also is an old child actor by the name of Michael Perkins. He played Kofi in Hardball.
Wow.
So yeah, me and him are best friends, and we've been living together for years. So he's also from Chicago, like I am, and so he also games. Well, don't tell him I said this, but he just be playing Apex. That's the only thing he plays. but yeah, what'd you say?
It seems like a lot of 90s child actors are from Chicago. We got Jason Weaver. It's like everybody's from Chicago.
And everything good comes out of Chicago, baby. That's all. That's it. Everything good.
Please don't let the people from West Virginia
Oh no, where's Jenkins in here? You already know they gonna up Chicago and they're gonna down Dallas at any point that they can.
Bro, they gonna come in here and play.
They're gonna go through the pizza too.
It's cool. I don't have nothing against Dallas. I've been to Dallas and Houston, and they're both cool. You know, I just going through. I haven't spent extensive time there, but they're cool though. They cool.
Are you gonna come through the DreamCon in Austin?
Man, I want to. It all depends on my shooting schedule. Things got really crazy for me, I would say, like last month, and I mean, it's just been literally a whirlwind. So right now, I don't know. Like, I'm just at the mercy of all of my contracts. So I'm just a slave.
Good place to be in.
Yeah,
What about the A? Are you coming to the A?
Atlanta might actually be one thing that is sooner than later.
Hit me up.
Yeah. I might think about going to MomoCon. So that's still up in the air. But I'm trying to get my cosplay game together because I'm tired of going to cons and not like being decked out. I always go like halfway, and people be like showing up with, you know, working parts and voice boxes and stuff. And I'm like, I need to do that. So I'm diving head first. I have my first lined up. I want to do Gambit, Apocalypse Gambit. But
Horseman,
Horseman. But that is gonna take some time because I wanna make sure everything is, you know, tailored and, you know, all good. Yeah, right. I gotta grow my hair back out too because that's good now.
I saw you play Max. You were Max and with
Max and Roxanne. Yeah. There we go. No, this way. But yeah, that is one of my favorite animated films, if not the favorite a Goofy movie. I just love it so much. I mean, I quote it all the time. And me and my girlfriend were Max and Roxanne for Be Our Guests, which is an adult Disney sing-along that they have every now and then in certain cities and stuff like that. They are traveling sort of sing along. So we go every time. Like I started going last year and I can't stop. It's so addicting. So if y'all haven't been, make sure you see it when it comes to your city. Go. It's amazing. Just get drunk and sing Disney songs. Like that's literally
that sounds fire.
Literally like
that sounds fire.
how is it not a good time? It's just
do they let y'all get up and do the perfect cast?
Yeah. You can get on stage and perform whatever. People will get up and perform like Into the Unknown. What is that? Was it Moana? Is that Moana? No, that's Frozen.
No, it's Frozen.
Yeah. Man, when I tell you I have videos of people going at it, and I'm like, this is better than this is like the El Capitan show. Like y'all should be they have everything, cosplay, everything. So I love it. I am getting to the point where I can sort of get a better cosplay. That was our test.
So I'm part of the rainbow community, and being part of the rainbow community, there's some work that I actually saw that you were in back in the day, and that was Noah's Ark, and you played Brandon. How did you come about that role? Did you find it very challenging? How'd that?
At the time that was it was pretty challenging for me. I was 18 and I was a junior. At that time I was about to come out of college. I was a junior in college. And it was just, I was deep into Black male college and how that era, especially, I mean, at the time, what was it? 2006, I think, something like that, somewhere around there. So, just the way of thinking was just completely different. And when the audition came past me, I always saw auditions as, you're punching the clock. You go against every audition as if that was your task for your job, and you just get it done. So when it came down to having that role and booking it, I was just like, oh wow, I have to really knuckle up and do this, And so after that, I think it was a meeting between myself and Patrick, who is the writer director of Noah's Ark, and he sat me down and really just was like, hey, look, I get it. I understand what fears you might have, but rest assured you will always feel comfortable on the set, and this is what, everything is about. This is what our message is about. And I think that immediately disarmed me, because I automatically had something else in my mind. And man, when I tell you, from that first day of rehearsal, shooting with that cast was literally a life-changing experience. So, I credit those guys all the time, especially online, every chance I get, they changed as far as who I was, when it came down to how I felt about the LGBTQ community. And it just really it shaped, sort of who I felt I could portray. It shaped who I felt I had the respect to portray, and all of that was so, like I said, just altering. So it was a great experience. And I mean, that cast was so fun. They're all goofballs. And I still talk to all of them to this day as much as I can. But yeah, it's one of my favorite gigs I've ever done, for sure.
Well, thank you. You made this Black LGBT member here very happy to see that on TV. Like back in those times, it was still hard. I used to sneak and watch like Noah's Ark and the L Word, and then seeing somebody that I'm familiar with on the show, it made me feel comfortable. So thank you so much for that.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much. And even going from that to Blackbird, Patrick was the same writer for Blackbird as well, and it again is something that I just was like, whatever you want me to do, like I said, it was just an experience that you can't take away. And like I said, I absolutely loved it. Blackbird, especially because it was something that really kind of took me out of my comfort zone, especially. And man, that was a hard shoot, but we got through it. It was really quick too. We only did it it took 3 weeks to shoot that whole.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
3 weeks. That's
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks on location. Yep.
Okay. So I'm gonna mess with you.
Oh, man.
One gotta go. One gotta go.
Okay.
When you get rid of the character, you also get rid of the entire everything about the show or thing like that. So
Oh, no.
AJ, Fairly Odd Parents, Sam, Rocket Power, or Detective Pierce, Batman. Now, if you get rid of Detective Pierce, you lose all of Batman. You get rid of Sam, you lose Rocket Power, and you get rid of AJ, you lose Fairly Odd Parents. And since they had a crossover with Jimmy Neutron, you also get rid of Jimmy Neutron for that.
Damn, he just hot seated you.
For real.
You know, my quiz was hard. This is
Man, the punches kept coming, man. I was like, all right. So, I mean, obviously, my first thought would be to get rid of Detective Pierce because he's a baby in the game, you know, at this point compared to the other two. But you say get rid of Batman. Now, I like Batman. I like Batman. I collected Batman comics. Man, but I mean, Batman has some great media. He's got some great stuff, and I feel like I'd be real bad to the community if I just took away Batman. Like that sucks. Like I just take away a whole beloved character. All right, so we can't get rid of Detective Pierce. He gets to skate by. He's safe.
Okay.
But I mean, I would say that probably getting rid of Rocket Power and Sam in their 4 seasons, four against AJ in their 16 with Fairly Odd.
Mm.
I don't know. That's a big weight. It's a big
Alfred's crying in the corner somewhere.
I know. Look, I am one because look, they try to talk so much mess about Rocket Power, man, online and be like, oh, it wasn't even that good, and blah, 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 blah. And I think personally that that's a load of BS because I think that it was great. But man, that's a big, like, AJ,
okay, fella.
Black, wealthy, like nerd. He had both parents. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a lot. It was a lot, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I just feel like that's a rough one. That's a rough one. I'll probably have to go with Sam. I'm sorry. I'd have to go with Sam.
Fair enough. See, he agreed with me.
AJ's near and dear to my heart.
Let me clear up why they argue. We did a tier list with the cartoons and stuff.
Okay.
And we had like a God tier, and then we had like a goated tier, and then so forth and so forth.
Okay.
Everybody wanted Rocket Power in the goated tier, but the goated tier had like Kids Next Door, Ed, and Eddie, and I was like, look. And then like it was above like
hey, hold on now. Rocket Power is
you got
with them now. I don't know.
You got Rocket Power over Kids Next Door.
Eddie. I mean, like, yeah, it was cool.
It was Ed and the Kids Next Door. What else was on that tier? Because the top tier was like Teen Titans.
Right. Okay, I get it.
Rugrats.
Cool.
It was like
cool. Right.
And then me and what's his name? Me and they had the whole that whole debacle over Even Stevens.
Oh yeah. Abe was arguing hard for Even Stevens, but
he's like, bring it up.
He's like, bring it up.
Wait, I thought y'all was just doing animated. So
we did one with just animated, then we did
and then we did another one with shows.
Shows, yeah.
Okay,
with the animated one, what did we have on that list? Because it was like the top was like Boondocks, Proud Family. It was just that was the top.
Then Justice League or something like that.
Yeah, Justice League was on the row that you were on, and then like the row underneath it was like SpongeBob and stuff. I was like, all right, look, if Rocket Power is going to be above that, I think Rocket Power should be neck and neck with SpongeBob and but I was mad because they had got rid of Flapjack completely. So then I got
we threw that down.
Yeah, which was all the way down.
So I was bitter. I was also bitter because everybody was hyping up Rocket Power.
So that fueled your decision. That's what you're trying to tell me.
I was like, no, now Rocket Power is just good. It's not goated no more. So we had a big old fight about it.
You was trying to tell me you was a little butthurt. That's what happened.
I was butthurt. And then it wasn't Flapjack. It was King of the Hill that they got rid of. They had King of the Hill.
It's a Texas thing. That's why.
It's not a Texas.
This is before I joined the pod.
King of the Hill.
I'd have never had it up there. Okay, but I just feel like You can't. Ed and Eddie, Kids Next Door. Okay, I can see Kids Next Door, but Ed and Eddie and like Cat Dog and Rocket Power and all of those,
Oh
they
no,
like
Cat Dog
right
is
there.
trash.
They right there in the same tier. So
Yeah, no,
so
Cat
Rocket
Dog is
Power
not
was in the
good.
goated tier. I can respect that. I can respect that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was upset at first when you said that you would get rid of Sam, but then after you explain why you want to keep AJ, I understand. I understand.
You feel me?
Two
You
black
gotta-
parents are presented. Okay, I can get that.
That's what I'm saying.
I respect you for that. At
was
first,
rich.
I was mad, but I understand now.
All I'm saying, you know, that's what I was looking towards is the longevity.
One that I don't think that people talk about enough was the contribution that you did for Clifford playing Charlie on PBS. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, you don't get looked at enough for that because I guess, you know, everybody wasn't in that PBS era by the time you do it. I guess it would be people that are a little younger than us.
Also, not to cut you off, but I do realize that a lot of times I was the only young one, pretty much, you know, in the cast, and a lot of times you're gonna get overlooked when you have that like one child, and you're just like, oh yeah, they're nobody, it's the kid, you know, especially because Clifford had some heavy hitters, you know. I was even at the time that I was at, I was way down on that totem pole when it came down to who was on that show, so. I respectfully agree with the masses for not remembering that I did because I wouldn't either. Like I'd be like, well, who was on that? I would name 5 people before I get to me. So, you know,
because I know Cree Summer, Kale,
Cree, Kale, the late John Ritter, Cam, who was the original voice of Leonardo in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The voice of Phil and Lil also played one of the dogs. I mean, yeah, it was a who's who, you know. So that one was like, I was just learning. I was soaking up everything that I could in that one. So
yeah, I was all like, I know everybody knows Sam and they know AJ, but I was like, he was also Charlie, and people be like, who?
Charlie the Jamaican boy.
I mean,
the only Jamaican. Everybody on the same neighborhood, and he the only one who's got the accent. They was all born and raised in the same place, but he was like, yeah,
I got the accent.
But hey, you know, I love it. You know what's crazy is I recently looked at the new one, and the style is completely different, and I'm just like, what is going on? It just looks like it looks kind of wonky. I was just like, man, this is different. But yeah, it's I don't think they have a Charlie character or anything like that in it, so it's very interesting. It's very interesting.
I'm about to say, do you ever look at those like reboots of those and things like that and think, yo, why y'all didn't call me? Or do you just be like, it is what it is?
You know, no, not really, because I mean the thing about a reboot is it's just that, it's a reboot, you know. So I don't expect to be a part of the same thing. If I were to be a part, you know, of a reboot, that would be great. I'm not denying that wouldn't wrong. But I think that, you know, I don't expect it. I think that it's one of those things that, you know, I would love to see the new iteration of things that I did. I think that two things can be true. I think you can also never replicate the originals, but you can also still have something new, you know? So that is one of those things that I stand by. So I love seeing those things come by. Now, do I enjoy all of them? Not gonna say that. I welcome them all. You know, come on.
Speaking of reboots in general, or rather just shows that we've just talked about, is there a show in particular that you like that you think deserved more, or do you think it deserves its flowers? Because I see that trend is happening on Twitter recently. So is there like a particular show that you thought, you know what, this should have got more recognition than what it did?
Particularly that I've been on, or in general?
Just in general, or it could have been one that you've been on as well.
No, you know, you don't even have to finish. Banshee. It was an old Cinemax show that is now on HBO Max or Max or whatever they calling them now, or whatever.
I call Max.
Right. Like whatever they call themselves. But yeah, Banshee is probably my favorite show. and it is a quick 4 seasons, and it definitely was way ahead of its time. I think it's now 12 years old or something, and just as a action pulpy noir crime thriller, I think that it just really doesn't have an equal when it comes to character work. I think that every character, like no character is wasted. It just has those people that you don't know whether you're rooting for or against, but you care about. And I think that that's masterful writing, to always have characters that you care about, regardless of what the spectrum is on their judgment. So yeah, that is my favorite show, and that is definitely one that deserves flowers for sure. And also features a lot of actors that are now just getting their flowers, i.e. Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander on The Boys.
Homelander.
Yeah.
So he is the lead character in Banshee, and to me, he did a better job in Banshee. But he's a
Really?
psychopathic Superman, so it's not much you can do.
Right.
Yeah, I think that he was like literally a revelation in Banshee, and that cast should have all gotten awards, and nobody saw it because it was action, So yeah, watch it if you guys haven't seen it.
Yeah,
So I have a question.
Yes.
So it's in the roles that you've gone for and not gotten, are there any that, like, if you would have gotten, where it's like a shock value thing, where it's like we were like a stone's throw away from getting Gary, Optimus Prime?
There's a couple. There's a couple. Probably most recent is Jake from State Farm. I was it was right there. It was, I think, me and him and one other guy, and went on the last call. We all shook hands. It was like, hey, much love to much good luck to everybody. And I saw it, I was like, God dang. Man, but
got free car insurance.
right.
For life.
For life.
He got more than free car insurance, I'll tell you that.
Just a life
yeah,
insurance.
like that and then really close to being Grover and Percy Jackson. Was very close as that as well. I did like, I think 5 callbacks for that. So yeah. I mean, there's a couple. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot, but that's part of the game. That's really part of the game, especially that, I always say that I would much rather be going for and just narrowly missing these roles than to be not considered at all. That means at least I'm still there. I'm still right there in the running, because who wouldn't want that fight, that chase? It's like I'm an actor. I live for the one yes out of 1,000 no's. So that's part of the game.
It's part of the game, and then the one thing about getting a callback is it's flattering. It's flattering when you get a callback, because it's like, oh, you appreciate me, you think of me, and then you never know. Like, you may not be fitted for this role, but you could be fitted for something else that they may have in mind.
They will certainly call on you and just be like, hey, we saw you for this. I can't tell you how many jobs were because of that. Literally, like that I've booked because of them seeing me in something else and say, hey, Cosby Show, I was modeling, and one of the producers of the fashion show was a producer from the Cosby Show. It was like, hey, we want that kid. So like boom. You just never, you never know. You're always going on the audition or the call, and people always go, oh, is there an audition that you think is beneath you? No. Like, what? Like, they said, if they tell me they are paying for my room and board and they'll give me some cookies on set and a decent living wage, I am there. I'm going on the audition. All right. It doesn't matter. That's it. That's all I require.
Right. So yeah, anybody got another question before we transition to the last one?
I do. So by you being a child star, or was there like, did you have to feel like you had to grow up fast, or did you have like a normal childhood where you still believe in Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy?
No, I definitely shout out to my family and my friends and my team, I grew up very normal. I'm still what I consider normal compared to a couple of things in the industry. But yeah, I went to school. I went as much as I could. Obviously, and I had jobs. Even I was on Even Stevens and literally leaving set and going to a job. Going to work because that to me was why not? If I'm able-bodied, when I get to the point where I can't anymore, I'm gonna wish that I had a stacked a little bit. I'm gonna wish that I had the experience of getting my hands dirty because now, why pay somebody when I can do it myself? I wouldn't have known all of those things, if I hadn't have actually did the work and said that, hey, I can have a normal life. I think a lot of people lean into celebrityness, and when they start acting, part of the draw is being that other person that they felt like they couldn't be without acting or without the industry. And I think I was always me without this, and I think that this was something that I saw as something that was expressive for me and nothing else. I never looked at it as something that I needed to further who I was. I think it's fun to become other people. It has nothing to do with me. At the end of the day, it literally is a chance for me to get away from me. And I think that that's the most important part of my life is that I always made sure that I kept that, to my roots because it allows me to be a better performer. I think people who use this as a way out or sort of like a please, fulfill my life, I think they get lost in their performances. And you can kind of see when they kind of fall off or when they're not that same actor anymore. It's the roles ain't hitting. They're letting this industry or they're letting the life be the thing that draws them. And it never drew it for me. It was just a byproduct. So yeah.
Fair enough. That's actually what the next transition was transitioning from a child star to adult life and successfully maneuvering through the child actor curves and things of that nature. I guess you already kind of touched on it a little bit, but if you want to dive more into it and
Yeah.
then
Yeah. I mean, I think that you just the reasons that you do this will show themselves in your work. And that's always something that I'm going to stand by. So, if you're having trouble, getting to the right auditions, you have to pivot. Your life has to pivot. You have to figure out what priorities you need to put, in place in order for you to obtain those things that you need to have in order to get to the next step. My coaching is built on that sort of do, rinse, repeat aspect of this career. You can't get by without currently ingesting something that is out there and practicing that, cultivating that, nurturing that, figuring out how you can sort of make that your own, and then putting that right back out into whatever your performances are. So for me, I think that, like I said, keeping that close by was something that allowed me to transition into adulthood, because a lot of people, like I said, just sort of use that and they lose themselves because now you're transitioning into someone who you're supposed to be, but you're too busy, meshing it with this fake life. And that's what we do. We are good at faking things. That's what actors do.
What actors do. Yeah.
And if you don't catch yourself, you'll find that you're faking your feelings to yourself. You're faking your own life to yourself. You're faking your duty and your service to yourself. And it'll hurt. So I think that once I saw myself getting things or getting tired of things, right around, I think 16 was when stuff started sort of switching for me. And I was just like, tired of being the nerd and everything. I'm tired of being like the little kid, and all that. And I want to do an adult role, but I don't know how. And all of this. And I just had to switch my mindset. And like I said, once I started accepting those roles and those auditions coming in, I think was when I finally saw like, hey, you can do this. You weren't getting these things in because you weren't putting that out into the world. Your agent didn't believe you can do it because that's not what you were putting out into the world. So do that so that stuff can sort of come to you. And once I started doing that, I think the transition was easy. And I always had my mindset on this stuff is very temporary. You know, it's very, very temporary. So having a 30-year career has been probably the most insane achievement that I will ever take with me. And I always look at it and say, I grew up with people that are not doing this anymore, that have regular lives and families and, you know, are doing other things. And I love them, you know, for that. And the fact that I'm still doing this, I'm just super thankful because I could be, you know, doing those pivots myself. And I'm thankful to have this stuff, you know, for as long as I can see. So that is, you know, one of the things that really helped me was just keeping the eye on the right thing.
Fair enough. You already talked about Trace earlier. I had that on the docket.
Well, yeah. Trace was cool. That was a good experience. Like I said, just being the serial killer aspect, something different. You know, I did it with a friend of mine, Anthony Bond, as a friend of mine who I knew before we started the project. He came and approached me and offered me the role. So it was one of those cool, like, hey, link up with the homies and create something cool, you know. So that was really fun.
Yeah. So you know, if you can talk about it, we don't know. But what's the future of Gary Gray? What do we got to look forward to?
Man, well, I'll start with things that I can talk about first.
Yeah. There's things you can talk about. If you can't talk about it, we understand, you know.
Man. Well, you know, in the pandemic, I had to sort of pivot like everybody else did. And I actually had gotten into a really bad car accident a couple years prior to the pandemic and started painting and eventually made that into sort of a business, you know, that was a hobby. So that's kind of next is really sort of making that sort of a more solid sort of form of expression for me as a performer or as a personality. You know, when people hear Gary Gray, they always are thinking, you know, actor most of the time, voice actor. So I kind of just wanted to change that and just be like, there's so many performers or so many actors that went off and ventured to do other things, you know, and this is one thing that I feel comfortable with. And I just love that form of expression. So that is next, getting a website, getting everything done. I will have a gallery, hopefully this year. Lord
and
willing.
those are paintings behind you as well?
Yes, these are mine. I painted these. My Roxanne, I keep doing this. My Roxanne, aptly named I'm That Girl, yes, from Renaissance. And then that one is named Blackberry Waterfall. That is just, I don't know. I would say my style is kind of pop artish, but, you know, I dabble in everything abstract and all kinds of stuff. I don't do commissions because I just be painting what's in my mind. And that's it.
Fair enough.
It's like, hey, if you like it and you want to buy it, cool. But
one of one from
like,
Gary.
hey, I want like Hello Kitty with like a Gucci vest and like you know.
Can you do a compilation of all your characters, please?
Right. Like, I'd be like, yeah, man. When I tell you, I
wear
did.
a Hello Kitty shirt.
Right. I did paint Squid. I did paint Sam. That was the only character of mine that I've actually painted. And it was the fastest selling painting that I ever did. So everybody's like, you should be painting your characters, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, I'm so scared because I'm like, what if I mess up? Like AJ, like his head is so round and milk blooded. It's like if I just a little bit of you know, just mess up a little bit, and I'm like, people gonna be like, how you mess up your character? But that Squid sold like hotcakes. I think I put it up and it was sold in like 2 hours. And shipped out.
Nice.
So, but yeah, that's next. I also was a poet in my old life. No.
Okay.
I did do spoken word quite a bit when I was in high school and college. And I over the years have been secretly recording and just not really doing much with it. So right now the whole idea is compiling everything into a album, and seeing if it does have a voice, seeing if all of these random, poetry tracks do have something to say, and yeah, seeing if I can put it out. So that's definitely on the list soon. And then, man, oh gosh, there are actually so many things that
I understand.
cannot talk about. What I will say is, I have one of the coolest projects on the way. Also, separately, I have one of the most near and dear to my heart projects on the way. And I have also separately the biggest thing that I have ever done, and probably will ever do, also on the way. This is something that I've been filming now for almost 2 years. So it is a very large project. So, I mean, that's all I can say. But I mean, when I tell you that this is, this is like, this is going to be my sign off. I think I've done my best work in this project. And I'm just ready for people to see me in this way, in that light. So that way I can, be like, rid of all the Bring It On clips being posted every week. Finally post something else, man.
I was like, we're gonna end up
that crumping scene.
Right. I see that crumping scene literally every 4 weeks, like clockwork, man. I'm telling you, I swear, if you go on my Twitter and just look at that clip and just see the quote tweets, because like all the same person just requotes it. And then it just goes viral every single time. How is this person doing this? Like, they have cracked the code, the formula. Because every time I'm like, okay, somebody different posted it, but no, it's the same tweet, and it's got like 170-something thousand. I'm like, can y'all stop liking this, please?
I was like, we're gonna have the timeline in shambles. We're gonna be like, in an exclusive interview, Gary said, he's a new Static Shock, and we're just gonna turn off the comments.
Look, when I tell you, I have been wanting to really talk about these projects one of them or two of them for so long, because one of them is actually fairly recent. But I've been wanting to talk about them for so long, and I couldn't. And it's similar to what I went through with Batman, because I had recorded Batman, I think, 2.5 years prior to it dropping. So it was just like,
and you guys got to be quiet.
Like he said, I was in bad. I was like, oh gosh, So and then this is literally like 1,000 times worse. Like it's just, yeah. I mean, I think that people are going to, like I said, it's going to be definitely a resurgence, and I've been trying to avoid that. Because I'm so low key now. I'm so like, I feel very much, even though I know I'm not on the twilight of my career, but that's what I feel like, because I've just been doing it so long. I'm just like, I'm tired, y'all. I don't want to go out no more. Like all the carpet events and stuff. I'll be like, I see y'all later. I see you at the party, please. Like, I'm that guy. I'm very much that guy. So now knowing that it's going to be different has been something that I've had to accept, but it's going to be welcome. So yeah.
Betty White was 99. You got another 69 years of acting.
It's gonna be before 99. Trust me.
You got
no shade to Betty White, because she was doing it for all of them 99 years. That's how I hope to be, So I'm 36 now. Woo! Goodness gracious, saying it out loud, it's like saying Voldemort. But yeah, 36 now. And I feel like, like I said, my best work is on its way. And this is not touching anything that I've been working on as a creator. This is just me as an actor. And I think that that's one of the only times in my life that I've been able to say that, where it's like, man, I have just so much on the way for everyone. And I'm just thankful for that. And as a creator, it's a whole another set of things. My production company hopefully will be ready to reveal its actual slate at the end of the year. I have some amazing, what I like to call my proteges, my directors of television and creative directors that are under my company, and they're just doing a bang up job at just world building and doing all sorts of cool things. I have an animated project on the way, and another feature that I'm writing. So lots of stuff, and I can't wait to talk about it. Hopefully, one thing I do want to mention, and hopefully it gets in the right circles because I mentioned it on this fantastic podcast. My goal for this year is to get noticed by the Wayans family. Because I have a short film reboot of Low Down Dirty Shame in the can. And it is right. I know. But yeah, I have written what I feel is a amazing sort of take on Low Down Dirty Shame. It takes place after Low Down Dirty Shame and is a pseudo sequel. I say a sequel in spirit, featuring the characters. So hopefully we will begin shooting this summer. And like I said, my goal is to have the Wayans see this because I want to work with y'all, because that's how I want to take over how they did, how they had everything, on lock. So that's and continue to have everything on lock. A lot of people don't know, but yeah, I look up to the Wayans so much. So that is one of the biggest goals of this year for sure.
Oh yeah. Okay. So
if
we can help, we're gonna try to do that. Right. I don't know what we can do, but we're gonna do something. Yeah. We go viral with our cartoon posts. We'll make Marlon Wayans a cartoon or something. See what we can do.
Right. I was like, quick curveball, so we get to know a little more about Gary. So, off the top of your head, your top 5 favorite foods.
Cookies. Soft cookies. I'm a cookie addict. I have cookie chefs that I employ to bring me cookies. I am that bad. Like, I don't have many indulgences. Like, I'm not a flashy guy. I don't, do a lot when it comes to my clothes and all that kind of stuff. But I will splurge on some cookies. Like, I love City Cakes. City Cakes is a bakery in New York that I order from, and it's $40 for 4 cookies. You can't tell me nothing about it, though. I will have them shipped to me. It doesn't matter. I also have a guy named Chef Darnay out here in LA who will deliver to my house. He delivers the most decadent chocolate chip walnut cookies. I also have chocolate chip oatmeal that comes from him. Oh man, when I tell you it's the perfect cookie.
Does that have to be like a pre-contract thing? It's like you gotta have Gary's cookies.
I mean, no. So here's the thing.
You got a cookie guy.
Like it's not in my contract, right? But when I get on set, I am in Crafty's ear. Like, hey, so like, what kind of cookies y'all? Like, and I'm just like, I'll put you on the order list, like which ones to get. And the funny thing is, man, when I tell you, I be turning out Crafty so much when it comes to cookies. They just, because they get the normal Chips Ahoy, or they get, the what's the ones, the Milanos, just real sad cookies, And I'm just like, let me learn you something. So I could go on and on about like literal, like specific types of cookies. Like I will have 5 to 10 of those before I even reach food. Okay, real quick. Food: fried pork chops, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese. Oh, actually, I lied. I'm a mac and cheese fiend as well, just as much as cookies.
You sure you're from Chicago? You ain't from the South?
Huh? Oh, my family's from Louisiana. My mom's family is from Louisiana, so they're from 8th Ward. So that's where that comes from. But yeah, mac and cheese is probably my favorite. One of my life goals is to sort of go around LA and try the gourmet mac and cheeses. I actually succeeded in pre-developing a show for this, and actually filmed its first episode. It's not going to be seen. Don't worry about it. But Food Network hit me up because it's amazing and it's already copywritten and everything. It's called Mac Daddies. And yes, I am going to be trying and basing them off of a scale that I created. And yeah, that's my goal, is to have a show on Food Network too. But yeah, that's probably like my actual foods. And yeah, but cookies, cookies.
Well, if you come to the A,
Okay.
I'm a baker. I have a little KitchenAid, and I love her so much. So yes, I bake. So you come to the A, just say, Keisha, I'm here. I'll say, okay, what cookies you want?
That's it. Say less. When I tell you, I plan for it. Like my trips usually revolve around. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. We going here. All right, bet. There's a nice bakery over there.
And I have Dance Dance Revolution. I actually have the hard pass. So
here's the thing. I'm a trained dancer, and I suck at that at all dancing moves. Every single dancing game that requires any movement, doesn't matter if you got the paddles, the pad,
it don't work.
Would connect whichever one, 360 camera, it won't matter. Infrared, I'm not getting it. I don't know. But I literally danced for 25 years straight, and I don't know. I can't explain it. It's literally one of the worst things that I hate to admit about myself, because I'm like, how does that happen? But when things come on screen, my brain just it shuts down. It's like the Windows sound. This is coming on.
I never got that, man. This is like, I've seen trained dancers actually like try to get on Dance Dance Revolution and absolutely fail. When then people who have like maybe 2 left feet will get on there and just
you tell the
crazy
people who are bomb at Dance Dance Revolution to just bust a move, a cool 8 count to like some Nelly or something, and they can't do it. It's impossible. But you tell them to do the hardest song on Dance Dance, and I'm just like, it is crazy. I've seen footworkers like from Chicago still suck at Dance Dance Revolution. I'm like, that's exactly what y'all doing without the pad. But I think it's literally just it's a divide. Like if you can dance, you can't dance Revolution. If you dance Revolution, you can't dance. That's pretty much
in line.
Actually, I took
I can do
I took dancing too. I did ballet, I did jazz, and I did hip hop. Okay, I can do both. Okay, there's people like me.
She said she left and right brain. That's what I like to hear.
But yes, it was hard for me when I first learned it. I'm not gonna lie, because people was like, "Oh, I thought you were a trained dancer." I was like, "It is hard," but now I got it.
Right.
So I know you said you doing because this is a question that Cam just texted me. She popped up in the bottom. So, hey, Cam. And then she left again. She was like, ask him, but you already done talked about directing and stuff like that. She was like, do you see yourself only in front of the screen, or do you see yourself getting behind the screen and doing?
Oh, no. Yeah, I always saw myself behind the screen as well. I mean, I started screenwriting when I was like 10, just looking at scripts and being like, hey, I can do that. I can write. One thing that I know of myself, like I said, I'm very humble. I keep to myself. But one thing I will always brag about is that I know I'm a damn good writer. And so when it comes to that, like I won the National Screenwriters Challenge in LA here at 16. I was one of his youngest winners. So for me, that was always the goal, is to have projects that I could either be in or direct, that I wrote, that I conceptualized. And man, I have so many on the dock for my company that I got a backlog now. It's not as bad as my game backlog, but it's getting up there. But we're doing so well when it comes down to sort of just prioritizing, what we can do as a company and what I can get out there. But man, no, that is a for sure thing going to happen. One thing that I didn't see myself doing was producing. And I fell into that and ended up, that is now the thing that I do the most for some reason. And I never saw myself as a producer, never wanted the job as a producer because it sucks. And it's probably the hardest job on a set. And so for me, being a producer now, I get to see why I didn't want to do this job and what now I can do to make it better. What can I do to make this process easier for myself and to fall into do it my own way? Because most of the time when you see people who have supremely succeeded at something, they did it completely different than the person that succeeded before them. Oprah was not the second Oprah. She was
Yeah.
she did it very differently, and that's why she is who she was. So I think that's kind of what I look at right now. I am also going through a lot of like perfectionism and imposter syndrome because I got all these projects and I'm like, oh no, I gotta change it. It's not good enough, and I go back and I rewrite it, and then I do it again and again and again. And so we're always going through that. But luckily now my team has gotten to the point and grown enough to where they have pushed me and told me like, no, you are not about to hide this stuff anymore. So we're actually finalizing the stages on pre-production for a couple of things. One thing that I can talk about that is on the way is a Pokemon web series that I am going to be producing with my man Brandon Jackson out of Texas, who's a very talented producer out there and writer and creator. And it's just going to focus on multiple trainer stories. And we are going to be involving multiple content creators. I'm hoping to get, just a good long list of people who everybody already know and loves. So, just kind of going through the motions with that. And we're in the final stages of locking everything down. So I mean, we're moving when it comes down to the behind the camera stuff. I have a full team. My guys, Benny Lee Media, Kevin, who is my brother, who runs that company, is my shooter. So we very much have a style. So you will know us when you see us coming. You'll see us coming from a mile away. That's one of the things that I always saw when it came down to those groups of people who have that immense success, that sort of flash in the pan, the Judd Apatows who went and got their friends, the Clooneys who went and got their friends and shot the Ocean movies, all of those groups have that thing in common, that they found that tribe and they just went to work and just did stuff that they were passionate about. And that's what we're doing now. So yeah, can't wait.
Facts. Bring everybody with you. Everybody eats.
Of course.
You talked about Pokemon. What 6 Pokemon would you carry with you?
It's funny. I just did this with someone. Okay. Man. All right. So confession, haven't played but before Legends, I hadn't played Pokemon since I want to say Gold and Silver or Green, maybe. So I had a very large gap. So when it comes to generations or whatever, you're gonna find a lot missing.
Fair enough.
When I started playing Legends, I was like, "Who are these people?"
And then you catch them because they look cool, and then they suck. You like, dang,
bro. Right? I'm like, man, let me see what's. And I'm like, man, I'm trying to release half of these little suckers, man. I'm like, okay. So yeah, I have a lot of old OG like Gen 1 and 2 Pokemon in my team. So just forewarning. But gotta have my man Gengar in there. I'm trying to think of a well-rounded team. So give me that. Man, probably this is tough. This is so tough. Probably a Golduck.
Okay.
Don't laugh at me, but I won a Pokemon championship, a tournament with an Articuno, so it has a very near and dear place to my heart. Yes.
Fair enough. Legendary.
Man, this is taking too long. I'm gonna say, what is it like? a good round out? Man, Electabuzz.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, what am I at? 5 or 4? What am I at? 4?
Four.
Yeah, 2 more.
2 more.
I need a fire type. Did I say a fire type? No.
Nope.
Probably. Oh man. Arcanine.
Okay.
Okay.
And to round it out, let's say, damn, I'm probably gonna need like a. Still, see, now y'all got me thinking of strategy and everything. Oh my.
Let's pull 6. It's all good.
Right. I'm gonna just throw it out there and say, dang, because I just caught one in Legends, and it's a new one too. And I was like, this kind of fire. And I'm like, and now I can't think of the name, but it's it looks like a dog, but it's blue, and it's an electric.
The electric Spinks.
It's the higher up one of that. Yeah.
And then I can't
Yeah,
remember.
it's been doing so well for me in Legends, and I know it sucks, but right now it's kicking butt. So that's who I'm gonna roll with, and that's just off of because I can't think of any right now. But I know I'm gonna go on my Switch after we go on this, and I'm gonna be like, I should have said this, and I'm gonna send y'all a whole list because. And I'll do that just so I can avoid my Animal Crossing island because I know they're gonna cuss me out too. So let's put it that way.
Kid, Bo?
I actually have more of a, I guess, a professional question, and then I do have a random question. So going back to what you said earlier, that you are a coach, you do like coaches for acting and for voice acting. As someone who has an interest in getting into voice acting, I just kind of wanted to know, like, what would you recommend, like, how to actually like get started? Because I've been, I'm in Virginia, and granted, it's not a lot of opportunities here. I'm trying to push more towards DC, where I know that there are more opportunities available, but I still want to at least, from where I'm sitting, at least try to get started and get the ball rolling with that. So what would you recommend for someone who is actually trying to like find their way through the door, as far as, getting a reel or getting an acting coach and so on and so forth?
Well, yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't matter where you're at, especially now with the way social media has been set up. It's gotten to the point where you're gonna find work, wherever you are. I think the first thing is just to get that practice in. One of the biggest things with my students that I tell them to do is that you should be, recording an advertisement, a clip from a show, something that is a minute or less, and recording it in your own voice every other day at the very least, and just try to get in the mode of hearing yourself and hearing the difference between your voice speaking right now and how it sounds through a mic. You guys all have ran this show. Probably the first time, or at least the first few times when y'all did this, when you showed or when you heard it, you said, "That's how I sound.
That's my voice."
Yeah. I'm like,
because it doesn't sound the same, right?
Yeah.
So get used to making your voice sort of that transfer of energy through a microphone, and seeing what it takes away from you and what it adds, and knowing what then to adjust thereafter for whatever you're doing. That's a huge thing. And then as far as getting work and starting, Twitter is a huge tool when it comes down to VO artists, especially, that you can almost nowadays just hashtag, VO artists, VO work, and find someone that is doing a project, whether it be a independent game, a pitch, a short story or film, just for Twitter or whatever, that needs a voiceover. And most of the time they need people who are in the union because they don't have the resources for that, right? So you guys get that opportunity to sort of slide in and get your experience, as well as, helping out that project and really getting that project to the point where it needs to be. So that is a huge tool. Twitter has been so great, and I swear by it when it comes to that. Even picking the brains of other performers, other creators. I mean, y'all found me through there, So
Yeah.
so when it comes to that, use that to your advantage for sure every day. Going through what projects are being casted just through Twitter. You can certainly find them through hashtag or even through your normal channels. Your favorite Twitch streamers, more often than not, will repost or retweet some game designer that's looking for actors or whatever the case may be. And starting off small in that way is great because you have a team that's dedicated to making you sound the best that they can because they have to. When you get the bigger and the bigger the set goes, the more people that don't care about their job. That's what I tell people, okay? Because it's a Marvel set. It's a clean 50 people that's like, I'm just here so I won't get fined. I'm just doing the thing. That's it. So when it comes down to these projects, they are going to cultivate you as an artist. They're going to make sure that you have the best things that you can have so that their project can seem amazing. They want it to be that. So they're gonna help you along. So it's great. Those are the biggest things that I would say for sure to start. And when it comes to your demo, making sure that you have a good variety is always key. You want to show what your spectrum is, but you don't want to show what your absolutes are. You want to show what your spectrum is of comfortability. So a lot of times actors will go into their demo making and they'll just be like, all right, I got to have a crazy voice and blah, 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 blah. And then I got to sound super announcery over here and I have to do that. And it's all over the place, but they sound uncomfortable because a lot of that stuff isn't in their wheelhouse. When really, if you just take the spectrum of your wheelhouse, you'll find so much variety there. And this comes from being a consumer, which I bring back around as my coach self just kicked in. Y'all saw that.
I like that.
That's what I preach is being that consumer. The more and more you ingest of our business, the better. I have my students watching behind the scenes of mocap. See what these actors go through, when it comes down to sets in this way, especially because mocapture is taking over, voiceover. A lot of times now voiceover and mocap are intersecting. Avatar started it and it didn't end with it. It just got bigger and bigger and bigger when it came to that intersectionality. And video games being the medium that they are now, definitely, pushes that along. So the more and more you can be a consumer, the better. Really look at those things. But yeah, I think that's probably the biggest starting advice. And checking your local businesses. The best thing about being in smaller areas that are not really clued into the industry like LA or New York or Chicago or whatever is the people who are there need people like you. They need actors. They don't have an endless pool to pay. Here I am in LA. I throw a rock out my window. I'm probably gonna hit an actor. And so you don't have that. A lot of actors, they go, "Oh, it sucks. I'm in a small town. I'm not gonna get any." It's almost sometimes the opposite, because if you go to your local businesses, you go to the biggest mini mall in your area, and I guarantee you 2 of those businesses would not mind if you recorded a commercial for them. Just walking in and simply saying, "Hey, look, I'm an up and coming voiceover artist. What can it hurt if I recorded an Instagram ad for you? You pay me $100 and we'll see what kind of engagement it can get you guys, or go into it for free for the first time, whatever you decide as a performer, but get that experience, because it's just going to make it so that when you do start booking or you do start auditioning, the producers and people that are in the room, the casting directors, are looking at you and seeing a professional already, because you have that experience in that sort of routine down. So as long as you can do those, you're setting yourself up nice. Trust me.
I definitely appreciate the in-depth answer here.
Yeah.
That definitely really that really does help. The random question that I had was, we always talk about, does pineapple go on pizza? But I want to ask you, does oxtail go on pizza?
Oxtail go on pizza before pineapple do. That's what I say.
Like,
I'm a
get that
Chicago
criminal-
boy, and I definitely don't put no pineapple on my pizza, man. That's just a no where we come from, you know. So I take pizza very seriously. And
Y'all pizza is
pineapple-
just bread.
What'd you say?
It's just bread.
I guarantee you didn't actually have Chicago pizza because all tourists go to Chicago and they get deep dish and they think that's what they was
Well,
doing.
yeah, deep dish is
With
not
Chicago people who live in Chicago, we have deep dish maybe twice a year. Maybe.
I'm biased. I was raised in the East Coast, so I was raised in Philly, so I'm biased about East Coast pizza. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Have you some actual Chicago pizza? Then you got to talk to me. Don't go and get nobody what people told you to get and all
Get
that.
that
No,
deep
you know.
dish pizza.
I'm
You
a
go
bias.
Italian Fiesta.
I was going to stick to. I'm going to stand by my East Coast pizza. I'm going to stick beside it.
Really?
I'm
I
gonna
feel
stick.
you.
But we can agree that LA pizza is not that great. We can agree to that.
LA don't even have pizza. Snacks. They don't have. But I could never go to somebody and be like, "Where can I go and get a good LA pizza at?" Like you can't. Nobody's gonna be like.
It's like everybody tried to tell you to go like in LA to. Cause I used to live over there. Plan on moving back soon, but oh my gosh, like
LA's food is so overrated. It's
I've
It's
heard.
so
like,
overrated.
It's
Wait,
just-
even the tacos are overrated?
no, tacos are not
Yes.
overrated.
They're
No,
overrated.
How about that expensive
Damn,
tacos?
damn.
No.
I had better tacos in Arizona and New Mexico area than I had LA for sure.
You know what? That's fair.
Damn.
That's fair.
nah, you gotta get the tacos from the old lady outside.
I didn't had them all. Trust me. They cool. They cool. Here's the thing. LA has tacos in abundance, so like they're all automatically worth it because in another place or even in Chicago, I gotta travel a little bit to get me a good taco. I gotta travel, but here you don't. I literally I can walk across the street and get a taco that I get all the time. It boggles my mind, and that to me is the only reason that LA should ever be looked at when it comes to tacos. It's availability and convenience. You can get whatever kind of taco you want. They all over the place. They everywhere. Birria, soft shell, hard shell, whatever you want. No shell, like they got deconstructed tacos because it's LA. It's ridiculous. And that's
Lettuce tacos.
they do that. I swear.
Deconstructed is crazy.
I went to a restaurant out here and they had a deconstructed taco. And I looked at the lady and I said, "Do you mean a salad?" And no, there's literally, and they brought it out to somebody who was like a couple of tables down, and it was literally 3 little spots of like lettuce and meat and sauce with no shell, just 3 little circles of the stuff, and that's why I will never be the quintessential LA or actor person. It just I'm not.
But the thing is that at least now I'll be upset if you disagree, but your Korean barbecue, you just go to Koreatown.
Korean barbecue is pretty good, but I mean, like you go. See, here is the only place that I've really had Korean food like that. Like in Chicago, we have like the Chinatown, and we have Little Tokyo, and we do have a good Korean population, but it's not as heavy as it is here. Like it's heavy here, and so yes, I will give you that. But like Korean food and Korean barbecue, and then I go to the Mongolian barbecue place, and like I said, it's just variety. It's just LA just bombards you with food. It doesn't have good food. They just have all the food. That's all. That's it. Whatever you want, you can find it, but it's not gonna be great. The only thing that I've had here that it's inherently LA that I was like, man, I don't know if I can go other places without it is Roscoe's. That's it. And literally, like I've tried other chicken and waffle places and they don't compare. I love Roscoe's. I'm like, man, if that's the one LA place that I wish I could bring somewhere else. It used to be California Pizza Kitchen, but then now they have that in other places other than California, which is also boggles my mind. I don't understand. But now you can get that other places. So I'm like, you know what? It's LA doesn't have it. But now they're bringing all of my Chicago favorites to LA as well. We have a Harold's, we have a Geno's, which was one of my favorite pizza places. So like now I'm like, man, I'm getting the best of both worlds. Like now I can actually have like the LA convenience, and now
And the weather
too. I can stop going back home and shipping food because I seem like a fatty every time. I'm like, y'all, please, like, please. Now I got a whole box of chicken frozen. You know what I mean? Like, it gets embarrassing sometimes. It gets embarrassing.
One gotta go. The Chicago Bulls / Chicago Bears.
Oh God!
Ooh.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't know who's next.
Chicago pizza. Chicago pizza, or Kanye West.
One gotta go.
One gotta go.
Oh, Kanye out of here, bro.
I was about to say, man, please do not choose the Chicago Bulls. I'm a big Chicago Bulls fan.
If you didn't pick Kanye, we would have had problems. Kanye was
I'm so sorry, but Ye gotta go because
I was like, who gotta go?
like you said Bulls. I was like, whoever or whatever is next. Like you would have been like your sister. I'd have been like,
She gotta go.
and she would be mad at me if I didn't say that. That's the great part about it. Like, yeah, Bulls runs deep in this family. So yeah,
we would be
sorry.
Beefing for life. No cookies. I would not make you cookies. I would not if you didn't say Kanye. I would not.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I'm getting Kanye up out of here. You didn't have to give me no cookies. Look, Michael, I can't watch old highlights of Kanye West on repeat, but Michael Jordan highlights never gonna get old. So
yes, sir.
I put them on the background 24 hours. I have content. We're good. I clean the whole house. I clean everybody else's house in the apartment building. If I got Michael Jordan highlights on all day, so that's fine. Yeah. Kanye can go.
All right. Double O, Bo, y'all got any more questions y'all want to do? I don't want to keep them forever, but we can, you know what I'm saying?
Ain't got nothing to do.
Oh, we'll break this shit up into 2 episodes. No problem.
Find out next week on Dragon Ball G. You know?
I have another question.
I'm about to say, I got a bunch of questions I could ask. You know what I'm saying?
I have another question. Like in a beginning of the interview, you said that a lot of people
mistake them for Richie.
Mistake you for another actor. I know that I just recently saw on your Instagram that you and Cleo Thomas were just recently took a picture. Do y'all get confused for each other?
You know what's weird? I never got it like up until like 2 years ago. And it's so stupid because I don't think we look alike now.
No, y'all don't. Y'all just like
and so I'm like, I never, when people were saying I looked like other actors, his name never really came up. But now everybody was like, oh yeah, Cleo too. And I'm like,
dude from Hole.
Like, what? No way. But yeah, I don't think I look like him.
No, y'all don't look alike. But I was like, always, it's just like when if you come out at that same amount of time, and then people put because for the longest time,
just light skin. Just had to be light skin.
Yeah,
you had to remotely a little bit, and hey, you're that guy. That's it. That's all it was.
Yes, and then for the longest time, please don't get mad at me, but I used to confuse you. I don't know if you remember the show called My Brother and Me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I know you talking about
Alfie. Oh, the brother.
Like, now that's like, don't hold your breath, and I thought that was
don't
you.
hold your breath.
Little brother.
Don't hold your breath. I remember him.
Now you got
a lot of memory with that line.
Yeah,
we all swore that had more than one season for sure. But
we all swore it had more than one season.
When I saw it was only like 6 episodes, I was like, get the fuck out of here.
I
remember it being like 2 seasons, 3 seasons.
Was it Ralph Woolfolk? Is that his name?
I believe that's his name.
I think that's his name. Yeah. I guess We don't look alike now, that's for sure. But
No, I'm talking about like we got like little, and I was like, oh, and I was like, and then I was like, realized no.
Nope.
Don't worry. Long before this interview, I knew that y'all were two different people.
Good. Yeah, man. It's so funny because I feel like everybody that I get said that I look alike, like we're nowhere near in age most of the time. Because like Noah Gray Cavey is like way younger than me. Like me and Taj were of the same age and at the same time, but I don't think we looked alike. So I was just like,
No.
You
I
and
was like,
Taj
the people that
Martin?
I feel I do look alike, I'm old enough to be his big brother, so I don't understand how people thought we were the same person. Like the guy who plays Lanny on Lizzie McGuire. I was like, I'm older than him. Like, how? Noah Gray Cavey was like 4 feet tall when I was in college. I mean, people was like, "Hey, you the guy from My Wife and Kids," and I'm like, "Please tell me."
They think you Franklin.
Does it look like I was just playing piano right there on the mini piano like Linus? Does it see? Do you see that? No. Okay. But yeah,
do y'all see each other in auditions though?
I still see Tosh from time to time. Definitely. Cleo, I think he more or less took a big extended break, and I think he's just kind of now getting back into the swing of things. So I used to see Cleo the most out of all of them. I used to see Cleo the most on auditions. But yeah, I think that out of all of them, I probably think I look like him the least. But yeah, I think everybody else peppered here and there, but definitely saw Cleo the most when it came to auditions, for sure.
Yeah, as actors, you do. So like people are like, have I seen you before? You were that? No, wrong person.
No. People swear they're like Full House. You was in Full House.
It's like nah.
Not that wasn't him.
Nope, it was not me. Because they always ask me, Mary Kate and Ashley, how were they? I don't know. I have no clue.
You might know better than me.
Right, you probably do. Honestly, you do. Hey, I just found out. Right, like 10 years ago, I found out they had another sister. So
Nobody knew about it.
Nobody knew about that. I'm like, wait, they got another sister?
Right, she was an old boy, and I'm like, this lady named Olsen looks just like these little girls. Like, who is this? You know,
now she's
that's
Wanda.
how I found out. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I look like Cleo, but that's one that people say a lot now. And people, when I tell you, when I posted that picture, people was like, "Oh my God, they're in the same room and all this." I'm like, "Y'all shut up, y'all was not."
I saw you arguing back and forth. You like niggas is just trolling now,
right? Like, come on, man. Like, there's no way. It's no way. Like,
my favorite comment in that picture is when someone said you, Cleo and Taj should do like a Superman, like the pointing.
Oh, the little thing. Man.
Spider-Man thing.
The Spider-Man thing.
I wouldn't even use them. I would probably use Noah Gray Cavey and the guy from Lanny, because I think I looked like them. My child self looked like their child selves the most. You know what I mean? When you put up my age against the age that they were popular, that is to me the closest looks. The others, I'm like, you put 7-year-old Taj up against 7-year-old me, and you're gonna be like, wait, what was I looking at? Like, we don't
look alike
at all.
Yeah, bro. That's why I'm like, when people kept saying, I'm like, bro, if you just look, open your eyes, just open your eyes. And so, like, now I feel like if I did like a Spider-Man point with those two, I would like that. But yeah, I don't think I look enough like anybody else. If I do one with Cleo and Taj, you know, you gonna have the same look. You know, right? It'd be like, this is not Spider-Man, this is Justice League. You know, point at each other. You know?
So
yeah.
Is there anybody that you would want to work with that you haven't worked with?
Oh man, lots. One of my favorite actors, if not the favorite actor, Edward Norton. For sure. I just I love his choices. I love his work, especially his early work. I think no one did subtlety quite like him in his sort of heyday. And yeah, just love that. Man, so many people, so many emerging people. Dominique Fishback for one.
killed
I think
Swarm.
she has. Yeah, she literally kills everything she does. Man, I think his name is Aubrey. Not Drake. Not that. Not.
I was like,
Right. No. Aubrey. He was in Cloak and Dagger. He played Cloak in the Cloak and Dagger show. I think he was phenomenal. And I would love to either work with him in something or hire him for something that I'm doing. So shout out to Aubrey if you hear this. But yeah, that to me is probably my short list. But man, so many. I think that there's now more than ever just so many avenues to see emerging talent where it's like every day there's a new person that we didn't get to see that now gets some sliver of representation that they can show themselves with. And I think it's beautiful. You know, we're getting there slowly but surely. It's better than it ever has been, can still be a lot better. But I think that that's really where I want to go with it, is just all the new people that I'm like, man, I wish we had, you know, all of y'all when I was coming up. I would have liked to work with y'all in that capacity, you know.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. I know. Final question, because I know they on the East Coast. They at 10:30.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Getting late.
I was like, I don't want to keep them up. I'm cool, but you know, I don't got to work like these bums.
Boy.
But
Hey,
okay.
hold on. Don't you got airport job last I checked?
I don't know if I want to work there.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Keep
I'm okay.
talking.
I'm retired military, so I'm chilling. But I about to say, before y'all want to ask a final question before I ask this final question, Kid, Keisha, Bo?
I think all of my questions got answered tonight.
Yeah,
Okay.
same here.
It's just a random question. All right.
Bet.
You got to choose one Marvel character, one DC character, one video character, and one anime character to make a 4-man team.
Okay. So one Marvel character is gonna be Spidey. It's gonna be Pete all the time.
Yes, sir.
All day, every day. Dang, DC character. Man, I'm a Clark hater, but man, if you gotta make a team like that's, you know, you can't throw in that aspect. It's like okay, well, how can I not include like the super guy? You know, it's like, dang, but just in order to be different, that is a real tough one. You know what? Okay, so a team for what? What is this team for?
Let's see. now you're making me work. You making me work.
I gotta. It depends on who I pick. What the team is for. You can't just say pick a team. You know what are we doing here?
Team
Invest in a business.
Right.
No, not investing in the business.
That's a completely different team.
I need Tony Stark.
Right. Exactly. Tony wouldn't be on this list, but if that was the case, he would. So that's why I said it.
You'll need Bruce.
Right. If it's a team just to is it like to protect me, or like
this team is going against this team. The team is going to be Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal, Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z, Eobard Thawne, and Green Goblin. So you're going to be going against those 4 people.
What choices? Those are some nice choices. Okay. Cool.
Off the top.
So still Peter for sure. Okay, with that, if we're going against that team, DC character will probably be Slade. Probably.
Ooh. Okay.
I
like that.
Deathstroke.
Yes.
That is fine.
I would say did you say video game character?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I said Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal.
Dang. Oh man. I'm gonna have to. See, does this count as 2? I was gonna say Ratchet and Clank, because
they are team. I'll allow that.
Okay, all right. If they come as one, you know what I'm saying, I can't go wrong with that. And then one anime character. Wow.
I
Sailor
put
Man.
King Piccolo. So we talking old school Dragon Ball.
Right. See, what do I have? I got one. Dang. I'm gonna have to stick Ratchet and Clank and Spidey on Piccolo. Cause so like I'm thinking about my anime character and I'm like, who I want to pick probably ain't go. But I don't know. I'll probably pick dang. You know, I'm picking Goku.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh,
Okay.
okay,
I like that.
okay.
I like that little flair. So we got
Yeah,
Rengoku, Spider-Man, Ratchet and Clank, and Slade.
Yeah.
That ain't a bad team. I like that.
I think that team can protect me from the what was that? That was like a Suicide Squad alternate. Yeah.
All I remember is Piccolo and Sweet Tooth. Now I forgot.
Yeah, Piccolo, Sweet Tooth.
Thorn. Ibar
Yeah.
Thorn that's gonna be tough to
Wait, you said who now?
Ibar Thorn. That's
Oh
Zemo,
yeah.
the Flash villain.
Yeah.
And then,
that's gonna be a tough one. That's a tough one.
And
But I think you know what? I think between Peter, his smarts, and Ratchet and Clank being able to pull from other dimensions and mechanically engineer almost anything, I feel like we could put something together. Slade also ain't no slouch. Tactically is, right up there with Bruce when it comes to, figuring that stuff out. So really the only wild card that I had was who was it? Was
Rengoku.
It was Rengoku. But see, Rengoku there that's the backup. He there, he there being flair. He there being suave and just until he's ready to come out. You already know what he would be doing. He'd be like, I'm just waiting for the real fight to start. That's how he would be.
Him and Sweet Tooth to get it in.
Right. So I'm taking Sweet Tooth out with Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank got Sweet Tooth.
Yeah, they got him out.
He's just a creep with an ice cream truck. So
That's just something I threw out there.
Right. He just that creepy dude on the block. So we got him.
Fair enough.
That was a good question. I like that. I'm gonna have to think more of those. My guys used to do like the who makes it out this room. We would always put people in there or like have teams go against each other. So that really reminded me of that. We did one recently. We was like, all right, we're gonna work this out. John Wick or Jason Bourne. And I told people you want to say Jason Bourne because you think because his movies was a lot more artsy that's really that's he the one. But I'm like, that boy John Wick, Jason Bourne gonna pick up the phone to do his little phone calls, and John Wick is gonna shoot him through the receiver. So that's why I don't know. But people were saying John Wick like he had a tactical event. I'm like, bro, do you see the people that is scared of John Wick? We've been trying to kill this man for 4 movies.
And he's the other best assassins in the world are trying to kill
Jason Bourne had the desk people from the FBI chasing after him, and they sent the whole girl from Save the Last Dance and stuff to protect him and everything. Like that's what he was dealing with. So I don't know. I'm like, John Wick got it for me. He had Ip Man going against him, not Save the Last Dance.
Bro, Ip Man is crazy in this last movie.
Donnie Yen is a G. But personally, I think that Rama from the Raid could give John Wick a run for his money. That's just me.
Rama's nice too.
Rama's real nice. I don't think John Wick got the fisticuffs for Rama. He could probably shoot it out with him. I don't know if he got the fisticuffs. He gonna do one too many judo rolls and Rama gonna just and that's it.
You talking about karate stuff? I'm about to say, do you watch Warrior on HBO Max?
I did. I didn't see like the last 4 episodes of the last season, so don't say nothing. But I did. I was one of the people because that actually is the same producer as Banshee. So if you like Warrior, you probably will like Banshee because it's the same as Greg Yetianis and Jonathan Tropper are amazing at what they do. So yeah, loved Warrior. Loved it. But the Raid movies are my favorites for sure. Can't wait for the third one.
We'll touch bases on that. I'm gonna wrap this episode up, but when I press end, you ain't gotta leave. thank you for joining us. You want to plug everything that you got coming up or anything?
Yeah. You can follow me on my social media, which is at Gary L Gray everywhere. So that's Gary, then the letter L, then Gray. Twitter is my most used social media. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook as well. I don't go on Facebook no more though. Snapchat. I'm that one guy. Also, don't use it. Don't be snapping me some wild stuff. I'll kick you out. And my girlfriend crazy. But yeah, when it comes down to any websites or anything, I don't have websites, so you can just catch me on social media, and hope you do because I be on and off of there so much nowadays. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything else, like I said, just keep an eye locked on those pages because it's gonna come hard and fast for sure. But I'm ready for this year, ready to reveal the stuff that I've been working on finally, at least some of it. Yeah, can't wait.
All right, all right. Danny had to get up out of here, but I'm gonna let Ked go.
All right, y'all. It's been a great episode. Definitely a great episode. Once again, thank you, Gary, for coming out and coming to this podcast and dropping a whole swath of knowledge on us here.
Yeah, yeah.
Appreciate y'all.
So
Appreciate y'all.
yeah, so with that, for me, y'all can follow me on Instagram at K3D the Pro. That page is a bit inactive right now just because I'm trying to work on building the actual podcast page. So please be sure that you uh follow the Chaotic Culture podcast page at Chaotic Culture Pod. You can follow us on Twitter as well at chaotic_culture. And of course, you can also follow me on Twitter at K3D the Pro. Same thing. Um, definitely, I try to tweet uh wholesome stuff mostly, but I mean it is what it is. So
We're
with that,
adults.
yeah, y'all already know what time it is. I mean, but either way, definitely check out the podcast, Chaotic Culture Pod, if you have not checked it out yet. By the time this episode drops, my episode has already been passed, but even still, if y'all have not checked out any of the Music Roundtable episodes where we actually take an artist discography and break it down and rank it, based on how we felt when we listened to it, please be sure that you do. The latest episode is actually Kirk Franklin. So if you're a big gospel head, definitely tune into that because we cover his entire discography. So definitely check that out. And again, shout out to Shogo High, the anime podcast. Shout out to the Elite Seven. Johnny, I know, is not here and whatnot because he's getting ready to move. So definitely shout out to Johnny and shout out to Rob J, who are my other co-hosts for that pod. So we are on Twitter Spaces every other Friday. Mainly, we're taking a little bit of a break here to get ready for some more things, but yeah, definitely check us out on Twitter Spaces every other Friday. Usually, either anywhere between 8 or 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. With that, that's all for me. Once again, thank you, Gary, for dropping through and definitely having a good time here. And from that, I'm gonna pass the ball to the next person.
Keisha.
Hey, so I am Sailor Keisha. You can find me on Twitter at Sailor_Kiki or Sailor_Keisha. You can also find me on Instagram, and it's Lakeisha SC. Please don't put an E in my name. I really appreciate that a lot if you don't put the E. But thank you, Gary, for being our. Is he like our first child star guest that we have on the show?
First one.
Yes.
Hey,
Hey.
okay, Carrie.
Bang, 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 bang.
Make sure we get the dance.
I already know. That's gonna be a gift tomorrow. Watch. Jeez.
No one, Steve.
I hope everyone have
It
a
definitely is.
wonderful day, afternoon, evening, whatever time you're listening to this pod. And please enjoy your life, every minute of it. Thank you, and please.
Bobo.
You can follow me on Twitter as Bodo Did It. You can also follow me on my YouTube channels. I have two, one for gaming and one for BS. Uh, Sometime this week, I keep on saying this, but actually this week I actually plan on putting my whole thoughts on Gotham Knights, the CW show. So look forward to that. It is interesting video. I made sure of that. But also you can also follow me on Twitch. I stream every weekend now. Can't stream during the day because work be beating me up every day. So yeah, so just the weekends now. So and I also have a Instagram account. So you can follow me. It's not a regular Bo, is Bo with a zero and then done did it. Now you ask why that is why is it Bo with a zero, right? So on Instagram you type Bo done did it, you will see that a Boston Terrier has a name. So
Every
you
single
cannot
time
use
again.
that name. So now I just
He's
have to use
upset.
Bo with a zero. Done did it.
He gets a
So
new follower every episode. That dog.
yeah,
Right.
I know he do.
yeah. So
Just
yeah, remember
because.
Bo with a zero, not a O, a zero. Done did it on Instagram. So
We gotta
that's what
talk to
I
Zuck about getting you the O back, man. Whoever got the zero, your days are
You
numbered.
got, you got to get
Outside.
Mm.
The
And what did that dog do?
not it. But and also you could check out we have a website launched last week, so it's now live and it's constantly being updated. It's called the Blerd Mind Pod. So this blerdmindpod.com. It basically has all our latest episodes and videos on podcast listening, whatever, basically everything in there. So but yeah, and you can also check out merch store. You know, you want some merch with the inside the mind of the blood Lego, you can go to the merch store, you know, buy some socks, some the masks, some long sleeve shirts, some jacket, you know. We don't have any pants, but you know, maybe that's in the works some in the future. But you know, but yeah, we have some merch for like, you know, for the top parts of the body. So
the
and
top.
you know, and oh well, we do have socks, but that's about it. But yeah, you know, that's about it. For it, you know,
All right.
that's what I say.
And I am Scuba Steve. Once again, thank you, Gary, for pulling up, man. This has been really, really dope talking about all this stuff with you and really just getting the freestyle and finding out more about you. That was really the highlight. I wish we just kept it
Yeah.
that way. But
I
shoot, hope.
appreciate y'all.
Yeah, man. But thank you guys for listening and It Mob out.
Deuces.
Bam, bam, bam.
Bye,
Yeah.
y'all. Thank